sounded along the coastal areas of Kerala as containers from a Liberian ship that sank on Sunday started washing ashore. Liberian-flagged cargo ship MSC ELSA 3 carrying tons of oil and containers with hazardous cargo capsized off the coast of Kochi. Some containers were found along the coast of Kollam and Alappuzha districts, even as authorities are working to manage the situation in the same office sounded a warning. Oil slick too has been detected and the advisory to that context has been issued. As the oil slick can reach anywhere along the Kerala coast, an alert has been sounded across the coastal belt. Besides the oil in the fallen containers, marine fuel used in the ship has also leaked. This is from the Chief Minister's office, so it's a very important statement. These are the visuals, how the government is ensuring where the containers or the patches of oil may have reached. Because oil patches are extremely injurious to the wildlife. They can have a business impact, environmental impact, and they are highly detrimental to the marine wildlife, even to the people. These are the latest visuals. Now let me just tell you what has happened. The vessel began tilting 38 nautical miles off Kochi on Saturday. MSC ELSA 3 with oil and hazardous cargo capsizes on May 25th. All 24 crew members of the Liberian-flagged container vessel rescued. The vessel was carrying 640 containers. 13 containers have hazardous cargo and 12 with calcium carbide. Ship fueled by 84.44 metric tons of diesel and 367.1 metric tons of furnace oil. The Kerala State Disaster Management Authority has also issued an alert to the public to keep away from the objects that may drift towards coast. The authority has warned that the marine gas oil and very low sulfur fuel oil could leak into the sea. This can play havoc with the region's ecologically sensitive and tourist-rich coastline. A spill can devastate marine life, fisheries, local livelihoods. Now, how damaging is the content of the ship's containers? Very much. On contact with water, it produces acetylene gas and calcium hydroxide. The acetylene gas is extremely inflammable, posing safety hazards. The calcium hydroxide increases the alkalinity of water, disrupting aquatic ecosystem. pH level goes up, impacting the survival of organism. Now let me straight away go to Dr. Vibha Dhawan, Director General TERI, who joins me, and Joseph Hoover, environmental activist. Madam, how serious is this issue?
Well, it's a very serious issue, and especially it is not what is going to happen over a week or 10 days. It's going to have long-lasting effect. First of all, what you have mentioned just now, it is hazardous materials of various kinds. So it becomes difficult to treat it as well because there are technologies available, including bioremediation and so on. But then it is materials of varying kinds. The second is like what you mentioned about change in pH and other things. That is immediate impact because seawater is flowing. So over a period of time, it's going to take care of itself. But what is more dangerous is the organisms which will survive over there and the material which will form sediment at the base. And what happens thereafter is that there is, like we always talk about Darwin's theory of adaptation, and that is the species which will be able to survive under these conditions, they will start dominating. And that's how the entire ecosystem will get impacted. So fish of some kind may disappear and fish of some other kind may start thriving in this kind of environment. Similarly, if we look at plantations like mangroves, Then also it is some strains or some varieties which are more resistant to these sediments will start taking up, or the old one will disappear over a period of time. And what we should also be careful, and regular analysis should be carried out, and that is the fish which we eat. Is there any residue in them after a period of time? Because I'm sure it's going to be there at least for a month or two. And the other is the immediate impact, because this is almost the breeding time for fish. So losing fish at this time uh, is very dangerous for the fishermen in the area, because you are losing mother fish. So how will you have the eggs and crop for the next year? So that's also very dangerous.
A lot of people, madam, let me get Mr. Hoover on this. A lot of people are thinking, okay, there's an oil slick that has happened. Then there is a problem with the gas that can be created because of the chemicals that they are in the containers. How much time does it take, Mr. Hoover, to clear a slick?
See, to clear a slick, it depends on how the government is prepared for it. It's not going to happen in a week. It could take a lot of time. We have seen in the past how it has unfolded. So here, my question is, after hearing what Dr. Biba said, we find ourselves to be in an ecological disaster, marine ecology disaster. It has happened. How do we come out of it? So are we prepared for that? How are we prepared for these exigencies? How is our Navy prepared for it? And it's fantastic to hear the Kerala government reacting quickly. Now they've been quick on their feet, saying that, okay, we need to do this, A, B, C, D. They put all the strictures in place. But now on, as Dr. Biba says, is going to have a huge impact, not just on the marine ecology. It could have a thing on the social impact also, the socio-economic impact of the people there. Because Kerala is very much dependent on fisheries and ecotourism. So I see, to answer your question again, like how quickly we're going to get rid of this oil slick, it depends on how the government can put these agencies together and ensure this does not spread. And this being already the southwest monsoon has begun, and this is going to be a major challenge for them to control all these things that are going to happen. If you remember, 2016, similar, we had a ship which wrecked, and Goa was in a lot of trouble. And it took them ages to get rid of the oil slick. So we have past records, and how quickly our government agencies can get onto this. And do we have the material to set back these oil slick, or whatever other challenges are there? See, from what I hear from an ecologist friend of mine, he has sourced it, Mr. M.B. Krishna. He was telling me there are people saying there are dolphins there, there are turtles there, and there is also coral reefs around that place. So you can imagine the impact it's going to happen. So I dread what could be the future around that belt.
This brings me to the question, this brings me to the question, Dr. Dhawan, then why do we have such heavy traffic in such ecological sensitive areas? Then this is a logical question. Then the sea lanes should also be mindful of the ecological sensitive areas. That was the whole issue when the way back during UPA 2 they wanted to create a sea bridge across Ram Setu, and people said, boss, what are you doing? This is such an ecologically sensitive area. Doesn't that logic apply here, madam?
Well, if you ask me, there is no area which is not ecologically sensitive. Every area is ecologically sensitive, and we also have to see that you have to transport stuff from one country to the other. And really speaking, waterways is the cheapest way of transporting goods. So therefore, it goes without saying that why we are doing it, it has to be done. I'll also like to mention that now there are a number of technologies available. We are much ahead in terms of development. The solutions exist. And whether you are talking of oil spill, it can be absorbed. There are sponge-like substances. So it is that the government will have to act very fast. Solutions do exist, and it can be controlled, I should say, in weeks. It shouldn't take that long. And of course, as I said, it is only that the minor quantities of oil and other pollutants which get mixed in water and the doses are too small for marine animals and plants to survive. That is the long-term impact. So, and especially I'm more worried about human health, that if we consume those fish. So that's the main danger. Ecologically, we should be able to control it. And of course, as I said, sometimes it's also that you have species which are better adopted as well. So that's how they also emerge. That is the whole story of evolution as well.
Okay. Mr. Hoover, before I close the show, very few people realize that the ships are the biggest polluters of the water and biggest contributors of, I would say, greenhouse gases. Just because we don't see them, there is no public opinion on them. I hope that this discussion and these images are used to spread some awareness about issues on environment. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they don't exist. Isn't that, Mr. Hoover?
Exactly. We don't know what's happening out there. Even if in safer conditions, we don't know what the impact is. We are always on top because we are exploiting everything. As Dr. Vibha was earlier saying, adaptation of species applies the same thing. The thing saying about survival of the fittest, survival of the strongest there. So whoever adapts there survives. As you were rightly saying why aren't we talking about the other impacts of shipping? Because we are reliant on shipping being the cheapest means of transport, and they bring in bulk. So that is something that we have ignored, and we raise questions every time there's a shipwreck or there is an oil spill or there's some environmental disaster in the marine system. So at time that we put things in perspective, and our government should be prepared, saying that, okay, these things could happen in future also. How are we prepared? Now, one good thing that Dr. Vibha said, we have the system, we have the technology to get over all these, but still.
I think, Mr. Hoover, what we really require is a will to put the issues of environment in mainstream, not to pit it as something against development in mainstream narrative. People should understand that there is a climate change which is happening. Delhi has seen the wettest May. The monsoons have arrived early. The first pour has deluged Mumbai. This is not a freak weather. This is here to stay. Our construction is not built for that. Sorry,
I'd just like to
30 seconds, madam.
For a minute. And that is, government is doing a lot. In fact, Terry is involved with National Center of Excellence on Green Ports and Shipping. So shipping is not really a dirty industry. It is. And if you look at, you have to clean it. That's all. And what is working in that direction?
Well, one has to see, this can be a long debate, madam. This can be a long debate that how clean is the shipping industry. But this is for some other time. Thank you, both of you. And I hope that the beaches are clean. I hope the seashores are clean, and I hope that the people who reside there don't suffer because of the oil slick that has formed. So that was on point 2, but don't go away. After a short break, we'll have on point 3 and we will decode why Manipur is on the boil again.
News never lies.
But on the twisting highways of headlines, every turn brings a new story.
So buckle up for Pune Highway.
Because the story is going to twist at every turn.
Dead body kabhi jhoot nahi bolte.
You will need News9 to stay with the truth.
Watch News9.
English news as it should be.
And don't miss our film Pune Highway. In theaters
23rd May.
Is this politics of appeasement?
That is the ground reality.
The violence continued unabated for the next